Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be one.
Dear Class of 2020, words cannot fully express my admiration and pride as I congratulate all of you on your commencement day and recognize the hard work and achievements that have brought you to this milestone in your lives. This is a commencement that will be memorable for many reasons, but I will always remember it for how our students rose to the challenge of the pandemic, and especially how you, our graduating seniors, after years of learning together and experiencing the richness of life on the 40 acres, had to quickly adjust to this strange new reality during your final weeks as undergraduate students at UT. You've shown great spirit, goodwill, and determination, but I also know there is disappointment. It can't seem fair to be separated from classmates and teachers, friends and loved ones, at a time when campus is usually buzzing with excitement and when extended family and friends would be joining you here in Austin. Unfortunately, there won't be crowds packing campus or fireworks set off tonight, but know that your achievements are every bit as worthy of a wild celebration, and know that the day to celebrate together in person will come. We will celebrate it together in the usual grand style. Until then, please know that you are special for what you have accomplished in the weeks, months, and years that came before campus was shut down. Recall your first days as a UT student, when you wondered what your classes would be like, or how you would make friends, or what you would do for fun. Now think of all the friends you made, the professors you got to know, the faculty, staff, and fellow students who gave you advice, and all the experiences that led to new ideas and new skills. Think of all you've learned in and out of the classroom and the person you've become. To the parents, families, and friends of our graduates, whether gathered at home with your students today or perhaps watching the ceremony from across the state or across the world, thank you for all you've done to support these incredible students over the years and in the past few stressful, uncertain weeks. I hope that you've all had a chance, as I have with my own daughter unexpectedly home from college, to quietly appreciate the extra time you've had with your graduates. Take a moment also to recognize how you've helped to get them to this day, and then spend a few more thinking of all the great things they'll do in the years to come. Graduates, the past few months have been surprising and challenging, but you've all persevered. Part of what is so special about your college years and what makes universities such inspiring places is that you are at once absorbed in the current experience, but also continually focused on your and society's future. What you've gained at the University of Texas will open doors for you and for all of us in the years to come. Your study of literature, culture, religion, and history will help you navigate and resolve a range of personal, political, and global conflicts. Your knowledge of different cultures and languages will continue to broaden your world, whether you're traveling that world or here at home. Your study of government, economics, anthropology, or sociology puts you in a position to act to help society function better, solve problems, and come together as one. Your training in a whole range of fields, from psychology to geography to philosophy, means that you will be part of the solutions to challenges as daunting as improving our approaches to mental health care, finding solutions to climate change, or making sense of an ever more complex world. As liberal arts students, you study broadly across many disciplines, and as a result, you have made your own life and the lives of those around you much richer, not only from what you've learned and experienced, but also from your desire to keep learning throughout your lives. You've asked a lot of questions, and I know you'll continue to do that always. You, the class of 2020 from the College of Liberal Arts at the University of Texas, are the bright hope for our future, a new generation of thoughtful, informed citizens and leaders who can listen, observe, and contribute along the long path forward. Thanks for everything you'll achieve in the years to come. Congratulations, class of 2020. Hook 'em horns.
Good evening, Longhorns. Welcome to the 137th spring commencement of the University of Texas at Austin. Now, I know the setting looks a little bit different tonight. Typically, we're all together on the main mall in front of the majestic tower celebrating the milestone of your graduation. But because of the continued risk presented by the COVID-19 crisis, and much to our disappointment, we can't safely do that this year. And I know how hard this is, especially for you, our graduates, who have worked so tirelessly to earn your UT degrees. But still, even as you participate in this ceremony from your home, whether it be in Texas, another state, or another country, we are together. And as we gather for this celebration in the best way we can during the pandemic, I want you to remember two things. First, to all graduates, no matter how different this commencement looks and feels, know that you are still graduating from the finest university in the state of Texas and one of the most outstanding universities in the world. Nothing can diminish that accomplishment. It is as significant, life-changing, and impressive this evening as it has been for each generation of UT graduates. And second, we will host the on-campus graduation that you so richly deserve when we are able to gather safely on the 40 acres. You will have your moment to celebrate in person with thousands of fellow Longhorns. So please keep that in mind as something to look forward to. Now, one of my favorite authors, Haruki Murakami, once wrote the following beautiful lines. And once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure, in fact, whether the storm is really over. But one thing is certain, when you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That's what this storm is all about. I think there's a lot we can learn from those words. We are living through a storm, a public health crisis that has upended the lives of millions. Yet when this is over and the disease is under control, we will not simply go back to normal. We will forever be changed, and in some ways defined by this experience. And that's what adversity can do for us. It tests us and creates an opportunity for growth. And the class of 2020 already knows this because you've been through your own storm, your own test, and your own problems during your time at this great university. And you've not only made it through to this graduation day, but thrived along the way. So if I know anything about this exceptional class of UT graduates, it's that each one of you, in your own way, will use this period of hardship to grow, to learn, to try new things, to discover something about yourself that you may have never known, and emerge on the other side confident and inspired, ready to change the world. That's what you will do in the future, and I couldn't be more excited. To celebrate you for what you've accomplished and to imagine all that you will achieve in your lives ahead. This is a very special class graduating at an unprecedented moment in history, and I have no doubt that you will soon make history of your own. And now to the class of 2020, I'd like to welcome your student leader. An individual who has overcome many obstacles in his life, all while showing extraordinary sense of purpose, compassion, wisdom, and leadership. Of course, I'm talking about Student Government President Cameron Goodman, and it is my honor to welcome him now.
Thank you, President Finvez, for that kind introduction. To our university faculty and staff, and to our family and friends, on behalf of the class of 2020, thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion. To the class of 2020, we have accomplished an incredible feat. For some, going to college, let alone graduating as a Longhorn, is a distant dream. I know I, as a first-generation transfer student, have been blessed to walk on the 40 acres these past 4 years. Coming out of high school, my family came into some hard times. I watched my mom sacrifice and do all she could to provide a better life for me. So instead of going to UT after high school, I decided to stay home, go to community college, and get a job to help where I could. With the support of my mom, my sister, family and friends, pastor, mentors, I pushed through 2 years with no days off, got my associate's degree, and a second chance to fulfill my dream in becoming a Longhorn. Going to UT was a journey, and my first year was a test. Living off the campus and working at a Baskin-Robbins in Pflugerville while trying to navigate the 40 acres was a challenge. But I found my way through the help of some good people and good friends. The Transfer Year Experience Office, Texas Transfer Students, Black Student Alliance, Student Government, the Teos Club, and the Guides of Texas have all helped me thrive at UT. And ultimately, it was all of you, my peers, who gave me the honor in serving as your student body president, alongside Ami Jean, an incredible, inspiring, strong person who I know is destined to change this world. You have empowered us to be the first Black Executive Alliance in UT history. Me being here, being able to speak to you wearing my Black grad stole is a special honor. And I hope Ami and I have inspired you to be your own self in a way that encourages and inspires others to do the same. My journey, my experiences at UT have become absolutely unforgettable. And for that, thank you. Martin Luther King Jr. says that the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but in times of challenge and controversy. In our years at UT, we have been prepared to face and overcome so many challenges, which means we are equipped to lead and get through this difficult period which we are experiencing. Our mission in changing the world starts when we set foot on campus, and it doesn't end when we leave, but it's just the beginning. Our time is now. It's time for us to lead in our community, our city, our state, our country, and the world. It's time for us to vote when we need to vote. It's time for us to fill out the census and be counted. It's time for us to lead when we need to lead, and it's time for us to serve when we need to serve. It is a commitment to action over inaction, bravery over fear, and creativity and innovation over the status quo, because that's what makes us Longhorns for life. I know our class was not prepared to have our commencement virtually, but it is a reflection of the times we are in. We have adapted as Longhorns do. In any case, the most significant part of this celebration is recognizing the support of those who have been there for us during our whole journey. Our loved ones, the people we need to share this moment with right now, regardless of the form of medium. So as I conclude, I want to thank every one of those people who have been there for us since the very beginning. We will celebrate together in the future, but right now, let's cherish this moment. I know we are in a dark moment, but there is light on the other side. I hope you all can see that. Our future is bright. And to that, I say cheers and congratulations to the class of 2020. See you on the other side. Hook 'em.
Thank you, Cameron. and congratulations to you. Back in February, we held an important event on campus. It was the kickoff of the Dare to Lead program at UT, which is being led by one of our newest members of the faculty, Brene Brown. Now, I could go on and on about Brene's accomplishments: best-selling author, one of the most popular public speakers in the world, visionary researcher. There is so much I could say. But on that night in February, with a packed house in Gregory Gym, I really got to experience firsthand what makes her so special. Brene is distinctly herself at all times. She is true to her beliefs and convictions, clear in her core message of empathy and courage, and willing to embrace the imperfect in every single one of us. It is her ability to accept a person for who they are, while also encouraging them to develop and improve, that makes Brene a force for good in this world, who has changed the lives of countless numbers of people. Brene Brown is your 2020 commencement speaker, and I'm pleased to welcome her now, live from her home in Houston. Brene, welcome.
Thank you. Congratulations, 2020 graduates.
Isn't it wonderful that we're all here tonight virtually?
Yes, I wish we were in person. I wish I was giving a million hugs to everyone and every family member, but this is wonderful. We can do this.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight, and I know the graduates are so glad to hear from you. So now it's all yours.
Thank you. Graduates, I wish I was with you. I wish we were together. I wish we were in front of that tower, and I know that we will be in short order. Tonight, we're going to do this virtually. Got some words I've put together for you. I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to look at you. I'm going to give you some weird zoom eye along the way, probably as I go back and forth, but this is for you. I believe that what starts at UT changes the world. I know it's true because I've lived it. I also know that this is not how you and your family wanted to spend commencement. The best way I can honor you and everything that you've accomplished at UT during your time is to be very honest and tell you about the hard and wonderful and windy path of building a life and work that has the power to actually change the world. What starts here changes the world, but it will not be on your terms, and it will not be on your timeline. As we can see right now more than ever, the world is not ready itself for our plans. Your ability to live a life that's full of love and meaning, to make the world a braver and kinder place, to disrupt and reshape the future, has very little to do with the greatness of your plan. It depends completely on your ability to get back up and begin again when your plan fails. What starts here changes the world if you're committed to getting back up and beginning again the exact same number of times that you fall, trip, and get pushed down. When we see people, myself included, when we see people that have achieved great things, who have set big goals and met them, we're often quick to jump into comparison. Their path was easier. Their job was different. Everything was a lot less difficult, fewer obstacles. We also make up stories about their efforts and obstacles that mostly highlight our fears and the worries we have about our own self-worth. Who am I to dream this? Who am I to believe I can change the world? Who am I to think I can overcome the challenges in front of me, even the ones right now in May of 2020 in this world, in this pandemic? I want to tell you who I think you are, who we all are, by sharing a little bit more of who I am and my story. Two of my prized possessions growing up were a Bevo rug and a Bevo metal trash can. I loved these two things so much. Wherever we moved, they went with me. There was no question in my mind that I would be a Longhorn. In 1982, my fall semester, senior year, I was accepted into the University of Texas, and I got actually a room assigned at Consolving. And that was exactly how I had planned it. What I had not planned for was my family falling apart. My parents, after 20 years of marriage, were on the brink of a divorce. And my father had taken early retirement from the company where he had spent his career and invested everything we had in an oil-related construction company. Again, 1982. That was a huge crisis, oil glut crisis. And we lost everything. Paying for college came off the table. The divorce was imminent. And I took my rage and grief and disillusionment and confusion and got as far away from Houston as I could get. I spent 6 months hitchhiking through Europe, came back to Texas, moved to San Antonio, and spent several years in and out of college, doing every odd job you can imagine, including cleaning houses. It was the first and only job I've ever been fired from. I thought I made this table in their dining room really shiny, like with some spray stuff. And so I decided to pledge all the hardwood floors. But it turns out that wasn't a good idea because the owner came home and slid 7 or 8 feet through the entryway and then did like a triple gainer and seriously injured their tailbone. And then I was, I guess what we would call today, gently coached out of that profession. I finally settled into a full-time job at AT&T. It was going to be the perfect job for me because I could go to school during the day, and this job was from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. The only tricky part was that I had to take all the calls in Spanish. Now, I had 4 years of high school French behind me and 2 years of severe telenovela addiction. I'd watched like 2 or 3 telenovelas with my roommates in San Antonio for 2 years. So I thought that would be enough. I actually did okay. I kind of winged it as I went. The only problem I had were technical terms. Back then, your telephone would plug into the wall in a jack. And my first kind of full day out of training, I got a call from a woman who was panicked because she thought her phone was broken, and we were trying to figure out whether it was the phone or the jack. And I didn't really know how to say Jack, but I thought, well, Jack's a nickname for John, and John in Spanish is Juan. So I told her to plug her phone into Juan, which happened to be her husband's name, which got really confusing. It turns out that telephone jack in Spanish is enchufe. I loved my work at AT&T, and to this day, I will tell you that it remains probably the most diverse, inclusive organization that I've ever been inside of. I was led, mentored, and coached by people who looked different than me, were raised different than me, thought different than me. I learned to trust people that were different from me, and I learned to be trusted by people who were different from me. I learned how to listen and believe people's stories, even though they didn't resonate or match my story. It was an incredible experience. About a year in, I was offered a promotion. I took it. About 6 months later, I was offered another promotion, and I took it. This time I became a trainer, which is when I fell in love with teaching. I flew all over the country training people for AT&T. And then I received another promotion. And this promotion was kind of, I had to go to headquarters. I had to go to New Jersey. And I was so tempted because I loved my work and I would be close to New York and it sounded incredible, but I couldn't stop thinking about the trash can and the hook rug with Bevo's picture. So I went into my boss and said, I'm turning down the promotion. And I'm going to resign from the company. And she looked at me and said, are you going to be a VJ on MTV on Headbangers Ball? Which had been apparently not so secret of an ambition, but it turned out I did not get a job offer from MTV to be a VJ on Headbangers Ball. And I said, no. And she said, are you going back to school full time? Are you going to UT? And I said, I am. I wasn't too worried about the 1.1 GPA that I had. Accumulated over the years past, because that was a long time ago, and I'd had a successful career at AT&T for several years. I had a lot of recommendations, I had a lot of confidence, and I went to the Dean of Students office at admissions, and I said, here's my story, and I'd love to come here, and I've done this great work, and UT would have no part of it. I don't remember his name, but he was in either to the Dean of Students or admissions, maybe somewhere between. And he said, I'll need to see 2 semesters of really good grades from you at a community college before I consider letting you into the University of Texas. And I said, okay. I moved to Houston. I had not been back since my parents had divorced. I lived with my mom, her new husband, my 16-year-old twin sisters, and I got a job waiting tables at Papado, and I went to community college. A year later, I had taken 27 hours of transferable credit. I had a 4.0, and I sat in the waiting room of the same guy's office at UT. I was puffy and proud and ready. He looked at my transcript and he congratulated me on my grades and said, I'm sorry, I'll need to see another semester of strong grades before I can let you into the University of Texas. And I just remember bursting into tears and walking down 26th Street. I don't think it was called Dean Keaton then, but walking down 26th Street toward where my car was parked. And there used to be a convenience station there. And I found the quarters and called my mom on the payphone and told her, they said no, they won't let me in. And as she assured me that I could come back to Houston and take, more classes, I looked across the street at my car, I think was probably illegally parked, and it was filled to the very top of the ceiling of that car because I had packed all my belongings because I wasn't coming home. This was it. This was my time. So I took a deep breath and I cried for a couple more days. I called my mom 500 times during those 2 days. I wasn't sure I could do it. It wasn't what I had planned. It wasn't my timeline. It wasn't what I wanted. But I registered at ACC. I stayed in Austin. I transferred to the Papado on 35. And I made the grades and I went back and I thought to myself the same thing I still think to myself today when things are hard and when I fall, because I still fall. Get back up, begin again. I will never forget the day that I took my transcripts back to this guy's office. He looked at them and he stood up and he looked across his big oak desk at me and said, welcome to the University of Texas at Austin. And like this, I started crying, and I don't know what came over me because it was like I was in boot camp and he was a drill sergeant, because the only thing I could think to say at the time was, hook 'em horn, sir. I think I startled him a little bit. I married Steve, who had just graduated from UT. He started medical school in San Antonio at UT Medical School. I worked in a residential treatment facility in the Hill Country between San Antonio and Austin. I kept waiting tables. I worked on my bachelor's degree in social work at UT. I did an internship at the state hospital and another internship at Child Protective Services. And I graduated. I went straight into my MSW. Steve and I ended up in Houston. I started my PhD program at the University of Houston. I was 32 or 33 at the time. We were ready to have a baby. I got pregnant. I remember coming to school and letting people know, and some people were happy for me. And I think some people were, one person said to me, God, we really thought you'd have a career. And I said, look, it's a baby, not a lobotomy. We're good. It turned out I had hyperemesis and I got really sick. And I had to take a leave of absence from school for a semester. Get back up, begin again. I got out, graduated with my PhD. I wrote a book. I was really excited about it. It was rejected from every single person. I mean, I could wallpaper Greg Region with rejection letters. Get back up, begin again. Borrowed money from my parents, self-published. The self-published book was a big hit. Penguin, big proper publisher, bought it. That book failed. Get back up, begin again. This is the rhythm of my life. And these are the seasons of every single person I know who has actually changed the world. I've collected over 400,000 pieces of data over 20 years, and I've never seen a single person who's built a life, a family, or a career that did not have to scratch their way up from a fall and begin again 100 times. What starts here changes the world. but it will not be on your terms and it will not be on your timeline. The world will not ready itself for our plans. What starts here will change the world, but it'll take your commitment to get back up and begin again the exact same number of times you fall, trip, or get pushed down. So what's the key to getting back up and beginning again? Vulnerability. Now, y'all didn't think I was going to get through this whole thing without mentioning vulnerability, right? Come on. You knew it was coming. Getting back up and beginning again are risky. They both require courage and curiosity. And courage and curiosity are born of vulnerability. Are you willing to show up and be all in when you don't know how it's going to end? The definition of vulnerability is simple. It's uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. We're raised to believe that vulnerability is weakness, but that's the greatest myth of all. It is not. It is actually the most accurate way to measure courage. We've asked tens of thousands of people around the world, from special forces soldiers to professional athletes to students and teachers, give me a single example, one example of courage in your life or in the life of someone else that did not require vulnerability. A single example of courage that did not require uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. No one can. One day I found myself on base, a military base in the Midwest, talking to troops. I asked this question, give me an example of courage that didn't require vulnerability. There was silence. People buried their head in their hands. And finally, one young man stood up and said, 3 tours, ma'am. There is no courage without vulnerability. A week later, I was with the Seattle Seahawks, asked them the same question. No, not on the field or off. There is no courage without vulnerability. If you can't manage, own, and lean into your vulnerability, you can't change the world. To get back up from a fall, to get back up from a setback, to get back up from what we're in right now, you have to acknowledge you're down, that you've fallen, failed, made a mistake. You have to be brave enough to acknowledge that you're hurting, that you're sad, disappointed, grieving, feeling shame, whatever feeling you're in, you have to own it. We cannot begin again when we're dragging unspoken and unexplored emotions behind us. We have to be brave and curious and to dig into the feelings of a fall. And that's hard when you're face down. Emotional stoicism is not tough. Pretending that you don't have feelings isn't strength. Self-awareness is power. Acknowledging emotion and feeling doesn't give emotion and feeling power. It gives you power. You own the emotions or they own you. You own your hurt or your hurt owns you, and you end up working it out on other people, or you take it out on your own self-worth. Once you get back up and acknowledge your hurt, that's when we're free to begin again. But beginning again also takes curiosity and courage. What have I learned from this fall that I can take with me as I begin again? And does beginning again mean that there's a possibility of falling again? Yeah, it does. That's why they call it courage. As I wrap up, let me tell you about the secret gift of being forced off the path, falling, getting back up, and beginning again. Nothing wasted, muscles built. What I feared would be a shaming return home to Houston to go to community college turned out to be an incredible opportunity to reconnect with my family. It was that Hill Country residential treatment facility that I worked in while I was working my way through UT, where I learned about the concept of shame. That defined my career. My falls have taught me 100 times more about who I am than any of my achievements ever have, ever could, or ever will. I owe 100% of my accomplishments to taking smart risks and trusting myself. While every fall is different and every learning is new, I'm not afraid to fall anymore because I've built the skills to get back up. I've learned more about being human, how we think, feel, and behave, from bartending and waiting tables and my weird odd jobs than I ever could in a classroom. Not a minute of that time was wasted. Not a minute. I learned more about the issues that are important to me, like inclusion and diversity and leadership, living into those principles at a job that I never in a million years was a part of my plan. So what happens in the classroom when I was a student or where I teach? That's where we learn to think critically. That's where we learn to connect the dots of our seemingly unconnectable experiences. That's where we learn how to make meaning, how we learn to understand what struggle means and why we can't have anything without it. That's where we build muscles on top of muscles. I spend 90% of my time working with leaders inside the organizations where many of you want to work. 3, 6, 12 months from now, when the job market is back, and it will be back, my guess is that you'll end up being asked this question during one of your interviews. I see you're a 2020 graduate. That was tough. How did you handle it? What did you do that summer or those 6 months after graduation? My suggestion and my hope for you is that you do whatever it takes to be able to honestly say, it was tough and disappointing, but it taught me about the importance of resetting. It taught me how to get back up and begin again. I spent the summer driving a truck for my dad's company. I volunteered. I took an online course. I got experience in this area. I got back up and began again. It will not be on your terms or on your timeline. The world does not ready itself for our plans. But make no mistake, what starts at the University of Texas changes the world. And for every individual person listening to this, I'm not talking to your class right now. I'm talking to you. Hearts open, curiosity and courage on, horns up. You've done it.
Well, thank you, Brene. That was truly incredible.
Thank you.
You spoke for the moment for every single graduate in the class of 2020.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brene Brown. And I know I speak for all of Longhorn Nation when I say how grateful we are that you could be part of this special night in the lives of every one of our graduates. So thank you again. And now it's time for the main event, graduation. Under university rules, the general faculty has the authority to approve degree candidates. For commencement, the Faculty Council has delegated that authority to the deans of your schools and colleges. So graduates, your deans are going to appear on screen in just a few moments. And when you see or hear the dean of your school or college, I encourage you to stand or make your presence known alongside all of your fellow students, wherever they are now, for the conferral of your degrees. Sound good? All right, let's get started.
Thank you, President Fenves. Degree candidates from the School of Architecture, please make your presence known for recognition.
Degree candidates in the McCombs School of Business, please stand and give me a hook 'em horns.
Degree candidates from the Moody College of Communication, please stand.
Degree candidates from the College of Education, please stand.
Degree candidates in the Cockrell School of Engineering, please stand.
Degree candidates in the College of Fine Arts, please stand.
Degree candidates from the Jackson School of Geosciences, please stand.
Degree candidates from the School of Information, please stand.
Degree candidates from the School of Law, please stand.
Degree candidates in the College of Liberal Arts, please stand.
Degree candidates in the inaugural class of Dow Medical School, please stand.
Degree candidates from the College of Natural Sciences, please stand.
Degree candidates from the School of Nursing, please stand.
Degree candidates from the College of Pharmacy, please stand.
Degree candidates from the Lyndon Baines Johnson School of Public Affairs, please stand.
Degree candidates from the Steve Hicks School of Social Work, please rise as you are able.
Will master's degree candidates from all colleges and all schools please stand? And finally, will our doctoral degree candidates also please stand? President Fenves?
Thank you, Deans. In front of our tower, I asked the Deans to affirm that all of the 2020 degree candidates of the University of Texas at Austin have completed their academic requirements and are entitled to receive their respective degrees. Deans?
We do.
Degree candidates of the University of Texas at Austin, by the authority delegated to me by the Board of Regents and with the recommendation of the general faculty of the university, I now confer upon each of you your respective academic degrees, with all the rights, privileges, responsibilities, and obligations that come with them. Congratulations, it's official, you are UT graduates. Graduates of the University of Texas at Austin, tonight you have achieved a life-changing goal, one that will propel you forward for many decades to come. And you have reached that goal during a historic moment of change, adversity, and worldwide transformation. You have overcome, persevered, persisted, and made it to this milestone. And what you do from here is up to you. It's your choice now. If you want to dedicate your life to public service, go out and do it. If you want to make an amazing discovery, start a business, or invent a new technology, go out and do it. If you want to create art, express yourselves, conduct groundbreaking research, teach, practice medicine, or dedicate yourself to a profession that you are passionate about, go out and do it. And if you want to take on the challenges we face today and help build a better future that is brighter, go out and do it. Whatever you do with your UT degree, do it well and set the bar high, because at the University of Texas, we don't change just for the sake of doing something different. We don't change little things, we change the world. And I know that's what you will do as UT graduates, and we couldn't be prouder. So class of 2020, please raise your horns, and with your family and friends in your homes, please join us in singing The Eyes of Texas. Congratulations, graduates, and hook 'em horns.
Hello, class of 2020. On behalf of the over 530,000 UT alumni around the world, I'd like to say congratulations on an outstanding accomplishment and officially welcome you to the Texas Exes. So welcome. We now share an amazing connection that I'm certain you will cherish for the rest of your life. Okay, so when we announced this virtual ceremony, we heard from quite a few Longhorns who wanted to share a bit of their burnt orange wisdom. So, without further ado, let's hear from some of our favorite Longhorns.
Class of 2020, Professor M.O.C. McConaughey here. Congratulations. You finished what you started. You are now Texas X, and it just gets more fun from here. How much fun? That depends on you. Take what you know, practice it in the world, be brave, trailblaze, make the stuff happen. If you know what you want to do, don't act like one, be one. All right? There's no help wanted signs out there in the world, not near as many as there used to be. So we got to break through some walls to get what we want. Respect tradition. Embrace progress. Lead. What happens here can change the world. That's up to you. Hook 'em, baby.
Longhorn graduates, this is your football coach, Tom Herman. First of all, congratulations on reaching the goal you set out to achieve when you came to the 40 acres. No matter how we're celebrating you during this challenging time, today is your day. Your degree from our great university tells everyone you are among the best and brightest, and you've succeeded at one of the most prestigious universities in the world. You officially have a leg up on the competition in the job market now. You're now also a Longhorn for life, and you know what that means. What starts here changes the world. Go take on the world. We know you'll make us proud. The eyes of Texas are always upon you, and of course, keep your horns up. Hook 'em.
Congratulations, class of 2020. Our university's motto is what we do here changes the world. And now more than ever, the world needs that to be true. With your collective blend of talent, skills, and passion, I'm confident that our future is in great hands. Hook 'em horns.
Hey, fellow Longhorns. I just want to say congratulations on your graduation. I know how much hard work it takes to graduate from the best university in the state of Texas. So congratulations. Remember that no dream is ever too big. So stay strong, stay determined, stay resilient, and go kick some butt. Hook 'em horns.
Congratulations to the Longhorn class of 2020. I am so proud and impressed with you. Think of how many times your parents said to you, you'll never accomplish anything just laying on the sofa. Guess what? You're graduating from college while just laying on the sofa. So that's already a pretty impressive accomplishment. Besides that, whatever you go into, you're going to look great compared to my generation because we've ruined everything. Maybe you're going to go into business. Maybe like me, you're going to go into politics. But in all seriousness, I want to congratulate you for what you have accomplished. Class of 2020, we need you more than ever. What starts here will save the world. So I want to say to you, congratulations, welcome to the Texas Exes, and always remember that the eyes of Texas are upon you. Hook 'em horns.
Adapt and innovate, A and I. Throughout your career and your family life, you will be called on to adapt. In these times, you will also need to innovate. The lack of a big celebration does not diminish this enormous achievement that you've just made. Your graduation is a big success, and it is the next step in your life's journey. UT has given you the preparation and the lifelong friendships to be whatever you desire. I never stop appreciating what UT did and does for me, and I don't think you will either. As you move to your next destination and you face life's obstacles, remember A and I, adapt and innovate, and always hook 'em horns.
Class of 2020, what's up? It's Colt McCoy. Congratulations on becoming a Texas X. What an honor, man. I think the word I'd use for you guys is endurance. Man, you've been through a lot these last 4 or 5 years, tough semesters, tough classes, ups and downs. But nothing like this last semester. You've had to deal with the pandemic, and I commend you. I'm fired up for you as you move on, as you start your new career. just learn to adapt, learn to change, learn to grow, go out there and compete. And man, I'm fired up for you. Nothing better than being a Texas X. Hook 'em.
Class of 2020, you did it. You get to join the prestigious group of Texas X's after all of your hard work over the last few years. During unprecedented times, I know this is a little bit hard, but just know everyone is proud of you, excited for you, ready to support you as you go out and change the world. Just remember, the eyes of Texas are always upon you. Hook 'em.
Hey, hook 'em, class of 2020. Congratulations. You've got this. It happens to be in the middle of a pandemic, but get on out there and make a difference. I'm counting on you. Best of luck, and hook 'em.
Hello, fellow Longhorns. This is Gary Kelly, the class of 1977. I just wanted to offer up a little bit of advice, which is you got a long journey ahead, and enjoy the journey. Your class is really unique. It is very special, and we'll always remember you, and of course you'll always remember this experience. But it's, adversity makes you stronger, and you all are going to be the leaders of our country and do great, great things to make us all very proud that you're from UT. Very proud of you guys. Hook 'em horns.
Hello to all you 2020 graduates. Best wishes on a very special day. Not only have you earned a degree from the University of Texas, but you've done so in a year unlike any other in our history. During this trying time, you've been responsible and innovative and resilient. And I know the lessons you've learned in the last few months will carry you forward into a bright future. This may be a virtual ceremony, but that doesn't make it any less meaningful. My time at UT was spent quietly drinking coffee with the librarians and adoringly memorizing the Dewey Decimal System. As a proud graduate of the School of Library Science and Information Studies, let me just say, hook 'em horns.
The class of 2020 Longhorns, congratulations. I know you wish you were standing in front of the UT Tower, hanging out with your friends, saying goodbye. But I know, and I think we all know, that after these 4 years at UT in one of the greatest cities, Austin, in the world, you've surrounded yourself with awesome people, learned from incredible professors, and you will go on to be awesomely successful. Hook 'em horns. Can you say hook 'em horns, Poppy?
Hook 'em horns.
I'm Marthel Neville, Fox News. Think of how prepared you already are to deal with life's hurdles.
Congratulations to the 2020 graduating class of the University of Texas at Austin. I know you had hoped to be sitting on the main mall, gazing up at that beautiful UT Tower, and those wonderful words, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." As you leave these 40 acres, always be in pursuit of the truth. And most importantly, hold yourself accountable to the truth. By following these principles, we as a nation of richly diverse people can live in harmony and prosperity. God bless you, and hook 'em horns.
To the class of 2020, I say congratulations and hook 'em horns.